We've been talking quite a bit about video editing here on the channel, and lots of you are asking questions about the hardware required to edit high-resolution video files from your drones and your other cameras. Well, one bottleneck that we're going to face as video editors pretty quickly is storage space, especially if we have a laptop. You're going to run out of storage space pretty quickly, and you're going to need another solution to store all those video files. Well, we've been down that journey many times, and I want to share with you some of our feedback and hopefully save you a little bit of money. Here on the desk we have 6 external solid-state hard drives, and they're absolutely lovely. They're small, they have no moving parts, so they would be very difficult to break. They don't make any noise, and probably most importantly, they are much faster than traditional hard disk drives, which do have spinning platters in there, and they have movable parts and therefore are much more fragile. Now, these are much slower. This little selection of hard drives I hear is anywhere between 5 and 20 times faster than this traditional hard disk drive. So the obvious conclusion is you must go out and buy the biggest and fastest solid state drive that you can get your hands on. Well, first of all, as you'll see, that's not actually strictly speaking true from a video editing perspective. And second of all, these are very expensive compared with traditional means of storage, and if you have a lot of footage, that's definitely going to be a factor. I'll put some prices up behind me here, but by way of example, 1 terabyte of storage here costs from memory between £120 and £200 per terabyte. If you buy one of these, you can get 5 terabytes of storage on this little external hard drive here for about £100, £90 I think it is. So you need to ask yourself 2 questions. What are you actually going to use your new storage for? And does your computer even have the connectivity to take advantage of the super fast read-write speeds that you might get from a high-end SSD? I ran the tests to see what difference hard drive speed made to video editing performance inside Final Cut on this 2019 MacBook Pro. So I ran export tests, render tests, stabilization tests, all kinds of tests, about 7 or 8 of them in total, storing the video files on this slow hard disk drive with a transfer rate of about 80 megabytes per second. I then stored the files on this very fast and quite expensive SanDisk Extreme Pro solid state drive with a transfer rate of about 1 gigabyte per second, and then I did the same test with the video file stored on the actual computer itself, where the drive in here has a transfer rate of 2.5 gigabytes per second. So tremendous difference in performance of the speed at which Final Cut could access the video files, but it didn't make any difference at all to the speed at which Final Cut could execute the tasks I was asking it to do. I couldn't believe the results, because I, possibly like you, had gone on the internet to find out about solid state drives, and I'd seen speed tests, and yes, well, this one is twice as fast as this one, and this one is 10 times as fast as this one, so therefore it must be better. It doesn't make any difference. It's not a bottleneck to video editing performance. It's really important you know that, because we went out and spent about £600 on these 2 hard drives to store all our drone footage. Now, if we'd realised we wouldn't have done that, we'd have got the cheaper versions that have a transfer rate of about 500 megabytes per second, because that is more than fast enough. I want to make a distinction, however, because if you have an old laptop with a hard disk drive or a slow solid state drive, you might well see a performance enhancement if you do buy a faster solid state, because you can run your operating system and you can run your applications like your video editing software off a faster hard drive, and you will see performance improvements in that respect. So that's a worthwhile upgrade. But as I say, I think for most of us, we're talking about buying more storage space because we need more space for our video files, and we're probably not going to touch our operating system setup. The other thing I want to bring to your attention that might not be completely obvious if you're not really into your computers is that not all the ports on computers can handle the data transfer rates that these new hard drives can throw at them. So we'll start with the best of the best at the moment. So we have a 2019 MacBook Pro, which is still the top of the range model essentially, even here in 2021. The connectors here are Thunderbolt 3, and they have tremendous data transfer rate capabilities. I'll put the numbers up there because I can't remember them off the top of my head. And that will more than handle the speed at which the latest and greatest Extreme Pro SanDisk external SSD can transfer data from its hard drive to the computer. So that's fine. Bingo, job done, no problem at all. However, when we bought these hard drives, I was still using this 2015 MacBook Pro, which is a great computer by any standards. It processes 4K footage, no problem whatsoever. It doesn't have Thunderbolt 3 connectivity, it has good old-fashioned USB-A connectors. It's these ones, just the traditional ones where you have to put them in the right way, otherwise they won't go in properly. So this hard drive here, SanDisk Extreme Pro, has a data transfer rate of 1000 megabytes per second. You stick your little adapter on, which comes with it, and plug it into there, and you do a little speed test, and it gives you a transfer rate of 400 megabytes per second. Only 40% of the theoretical maximum transfer rate that hard drive can do. So that's a big fat waste of money if you've paid up for super duper performance only for it to be throttled by the fact that your computer port does not handle the data transfer rate. So you definitely want to check that out before you go and splash the cash on the latest and greatest SSD. I've got no agenda here, by the way. I'm not trying to sell you anything. We're not affiliated with any of these companies. Just trying to share some experience because we learned the hard way by essentially overpaying for these two SanDisk Extreme Pro SSDs that were purchased to work alongside our 2015 MacBook Pros that, as I say, did not have the connectivity required to take advantage of the fantastic read-write speeds on the Pro models there. Our subsequent purchase in Black Friday 2020 just there was of the standard SSDs, which have been more than fast enough for our needs and quite frankly for anyone's 4K video editing needs. So learn from our mistakes. I love SSDs, by the way, don't get me wrong, I would get them all day long. They have no moving parts. If I drop it, then you've not got a problem. We have had hard drive smashes in the past and it's not very nice. You don't want to go there. But we're not all made of money, so we need to make our purchases wisely. Anyway, I'm enjoying exploring video editing topics here on the channel. If you're a video creator, if you fly a drone, for example, by definition, you have to edit that footage. So I hope you find it interesting. A lot of you'll have more experience than we do on this computing side of things. So by all means, share your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you next time.